Hey, what's going on, people? This is El Detenchi back for another TMNT Rant Rave review on this week's episode entitled "The Gauntlet." So this starts out with April, just walking around the city, regular day, and next thing you know, she gets chased by this giant bird, this giant pigeon. Tells the turtles they find the pigeon, but come to find out, he wasn't there to attack her. He was there to deliver a message from her father, who, as we know, has been held captive from the Krang since the beginning of this series. Um, Come to find out, the pigeon was actually a mutant, of course, by the mutated by the Krang. They were experimenting on him, and he did start out as a bird. They poured some mutagen on him, and he became like a man bird, a man pigeon, if you will, and it was funny because you also find out that they are trying to fine tune the mutagen for where they are now, because in the dimension where they come from, yes, it's already established. We already know that they come from another dimension entirely, or another planet. In this case, it's another dimension. So I'm gonna just say and put it out here, Dimension X. Let's just call it Dimension X. And apparently physics in that dimension are a lot different than what they are here. So they need scientists to help change or fine-tune the formula for Earth, because they plan on making mutants out of us all. So you got that, and on the flip side, you got Shredder making a bigger presence in this episode, telling Zever and Chris Bradford that he is disappointed in them. You know what I'm saying? He basically chewed them out. Really, they wanted to have another chance. And Zever, of course, he was like, if I had more time, I would crush these turtles, da 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 da. He's like, no, I'm going to deal with this myself. So that's what he does. I mean, and one thing I noticed, this version of the Shredder is even more jacked up than any other version of the Shredder I've ever seen. He if you look at his eyes, one of his eyes looks like it's blind. He's got two-toned eyeballs and a scarred up looking burnt face. I mean, yeah, in the comics as well as the movies, he had a scar on his face, like going from here to here. But in this one, it looked like he's burned up. Looked like he's been through just hell. Looked like he's been through hell. And that is right there is brutal to me. Coupled with his armor, the fact that it looks like it's more like technically advanced than the other versions, minus the Ukron Shredder from Turtles 2000, and with the deep voice, I think, wow, yeah, they really put some thought into this. He's been through some crap. So he goes to take on the turtles himself. Earlier in the episode, Splinter talked to Leonardo and the rest of them about being overconfident, because they fought aliens and mutants and all this stuff and crazy people. They're getting a little ahead of themselves. Plus, they're teenagers, so of course their ego's gonna get a little inflated after a while. You know what I'm saying? Their ego just got boosted, of course. I mean, yeah, they came out on top with all these fights, and they were very unusual. I mean, but it's just a normal day for them. But another thing that they introduced today was smoke bombs. And the smoke bombs, as we all know, is a way to get out of your enemy's way, or to trick your enemy, or to retreat from a fight. You know what I'm saying? And it kept on reminding me of the movies. Remember Shredder's right hand man, Tatsu? he was always the one to say ninja vanish. You know, he was the man of few words. Looked like he didn't want to be messed with at all. Always told the foot when to fight and when to retreat by saying ninja vanish. So that's what that kind of reminded me of. Plus, since this is since it's another cartoon, they got to add in a little bit of tomfoolery along with it. So it's all good. Yeah, people complain about Michelangelo being basically being stupid. I don't think he's stupid. I think he's just being Mikey, the curious one, the impatient one. He's the little kid out of the bunch. Even though he is the same age as the rest of them, he is the youngest out of all of them. So his attitude towards a lot of things is silly. A lot of times he does things without thinking. And yes, I think sometimes he does get the short end of the stick. But his depiction is not all that off, in my opinion. Even though he is my favorite character, but at the same time, he is very reliable. When it comes time to fight or when it comes time to save someone, he's nothing but serious. So I ain't got no problem with the way he is now. So getting back to the main story, you have the Shredder coming in to get the turtles. You have the Krang planning to set their bomb and set it off, make everyone mutant and everything. And you have Zevver and Chris Bradford trying to basically reclaim their honor, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? These guys have already been foiled multiple times. They're getting sick of it. They're getting chewed out by their master. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in, and really, they end up doing the stupidest thing they could have ever done, and they end up paying for it, which they end up becoming mutated. Now, one turns into a fish, and the other one turns into a dog. I've also seen that some people have questioned why they turned into that. I remember in the 1987 series, it was already established that it depends on the DNA of any other life form you touch, that the mutagen reacts to that. So say I touched a bird outside or a dog or a cat or something, and I came across some mutagen. If I got doused with that mutagen, I'd end up having attributes or looking like the last animal I had touched. In the 1987 series, Shredder, before he met the Turtles, before the Turtles ended up dropping into the sewers, all his friends were rats. So he had rat DNA all over his hands. So that's why he turned into the rat. In this version, I haven't seen him touch a rat at all. But that's either here nor there. In this case, I'm going to guess that he, since he moved to New York, had seen or a rat had touched him at one point or another before he bought the turtles. Because remember, he was the one that bought the turtles in the pet shop in this version. And because the turtles were the last things that the last things that they touched was Splinter before he turned into a rodent. They turned humanoid. They didn't turn human. They just turned humanoid. I think it also depends on how much you know what? I'm just guessing at this point. This is cartoon physics. I mean, how much logic can you really put into it? You know what I mean? This is just a great show. And the fight with the Shredder, it was merciless. He was just dominating everyone. I mean, not to say they didn't put up a good fight, but that's what happens when you're overconfident. There's got to be something like karma's gotta knock some sense into you, and that's exactly what happened with the Turtles versus Shredder. You know they were gonna come back for another round. You know this is not gonna be just a one-time thing. We all know that. You know what I'm saying? We all know what we're in for with this. And Splinter has already declared it war. He's basically saying that this is war. There is no plan. There is no turning back from this. These are just battles. This is war now. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see what happens next. I know this is running a little long, but hey. Anyway, peace, love, and I will see you next episode.